FM announced the new budget on Feb 1st. Tax slabs were changed, much to the cheer of salaried employees. So, in this video, let us calculate the tax together. I want to look at different scenarios when your salary is less than 12.75 lakhs, when your salary is 1 rupee more than 12.75 lakhs, and then we will also compare the old tax regime and the new tax regime, and in which scenario can actually the old tax regime be beneficial to. Before we proceed further, remember this video is applicable for the financial year starting the 1st of April 2025. So you would be submitting your ITR, you're filing your ITR in somewhere in June for the previous year. So this video is not applicable for that ITR filing. Please be very clear on that. I'm Gopal, a SEBI registered investment advisor. Welcome to my channel. So if you like the content, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. A quick word on how the new tax is calculated. So you have the gross salary, you have the standard deduction of 75,000, you have the 87A limit of 112 lakhs. Then you have the slabs 0 to 4 lakhs, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20, 20 to 24, and 24 plus. Then on the right hand side, you can see that there is a surcharge slab as well. And then once you calculate the per slab income tax, you add them all together to compute the final income tax, add the surcharge, then the cess to compute what you owe the government. That is how the calculation is done. Now that we have set the agenda, let's get into the video. We'll start with scenario 1. Now, let us look at how the taxes are computed. So, starting with scenario 1 here, it is 12 lakhs. For 12 lakhs, tax is zero. It's very clear. There is a deduction of 75,000, so you're getting a zero tax. Now, we're going to look at the second scenario, which is the salary for me now is 12 lakh 75,001 rupee. So I entered 12 lakh 75,001 rupee, and bam, I have a tax of 62,400. Remember, when your salary was 12 lakh 75,000, your tax was zero. You earned 1 rupee more, and now your tax is 62,400. I'm not going to get into the argument of whether this is right or whether this is wrong, but we will look at scenarios where how you can avoid this. So you can see here I've put a deduction made available for the new tax regime, and that is 80CCD2. So this is called employer contribution to NPS, and I encourage you to make use of this to reduce your um, tax liability. And you're investing in NPS not just because it is lesser in tax, but also because it is a smart thing to do. Watch this video on how you can grow your retirement corpus via NPS. So coming back to the scenario, let us say I am adding 10,000 rupees a year into NPS via the corporate, right? Via employer. Bam, again you can see that my tax is zero. So 80CCD2 is one way of um, reducing your taxes if you're earning just a little more than 12.75 lakhs. Let us look at the old tax regime and the new tax regime. So going to old tax regime, 12.75 gross salary, you're still paying a tax of 23,400 provided you're making so many deductions, which means investing in ATC, housing loan interest, health insurance, parental health insurance, NPS contribution, so on and so forth. In spite of that, I'm not beating the new tax regime. So if your salary is 12.75 lakhs, it's absolute no-brainer to go for new tax regime. Now the scenario we are going to calculate is the salary is 24 lakhs. Let us look at the old regime and the new regime. So 24 lakhs is the salary. In old regime, I'm getting a total tax of 3 lakhs 27,600 if I make all these deductions. So um, assuming I don't it becomes 5,38,200 as the tax. And compare this. So now we will go back, we will have all the deductions, and it is 3,27,600. Now we'll go to the new tax regime and then see where is the tax. So in the new tax regime, you would be having a total tax of 2.92 lakhs, which is 35,000 less than what you would do in the old tax regime. So if your salary is 24 lakhs, folks, there is no calculation needed. Absolutely go for um, new tax regime, right? Unless you have your interest rate in education loan, you're making a huge donations and things like that. Otherwise, it is pretty straightforward that new tax regime is better. The last scenario I looked at was if my salary was 50 lakhs. So I inputted 50 lakhs for the old tax regime. The total tax was 11 lakh 38,000, and in case of the new tax regime, it was 10 lakh 99,000. So, folks, I couldn't find a normal scenario, where the old tax regime would actually be more beneficial than the new tax regime. So I randomly put another 2 lakhs of donation to just see if that makes any sense. So the total deductions stood at 8.75 lakhs. And at that point of time, the old tax regime was kind of slightly beating the new tax regime. So if you have a donation, if you have a deduction, I'm sorry, if I have a deduction of total of more than 8 lakhs, that is when the old regime is actually able to just beat the new tax regime. So for all practical purposes, I would say you can blindly choose new tax regime for simplicity and ease of calculations. Folks, now you understood the calculations on the new and the old tax regimes. um, Remember that the new tax regime does not incentivize us to invest or save, and that is precisely what we have to do as individuals. Good luck, and hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Be wise, money wise.